Okay, yeah. We're back, though. We've crawled out of our bunkers.
For now.
From the COVID. Yeah. We all hid in our basements for the entirety of COVID.
Yeah.
Which is over now, as we all know.
Yeah. Unless you're listening to the lamestream media.
You're listening to Zoo, the show, the podcast.
Wow.
I'm Joey.
I'm William.
I'm Dallas.
And we're going to talk about an episode of Zoo. I forgot to check what the title was. It is episode 12. It is the penultimate episode of season 1.
It's oh man, really good. I love this show now.
It's a good show.
I was very cynical in the beginning.
As it turns out, I'll put it this way. We are in a world where there's so much shows now. There's so many shows now that it can be difficult to find one that really cuts through that you're like, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Because it's just Netflix just puts out 20 new dating shows. There's a new prestige TV show every week.
Yeah.
And
I don't watch any of it.
It's all pointless. Because the best TV show's already been made. It's already done. It's over. It ended years ago.
And I don't think really people have come to terms with that.
Yeah.
I think that's the main issue, is that people don't want to admit that anything else that anyone makes ever will fall short of what it could have been in a pre-Zoo world.
In a lot of ways, Game of Thrones was just a reaction to Zoo. Just an attempt to sort of match that.
I mean, it's the Wall Street fat cats that own Hollywood. They saw Zoo and they said, you know what, we got to step it up. And so really, all of our television, all of our media in general, has been influenced irrevocably by the Zoo experience. Because it's more than just a show.
Yeah.
It's a feeling.
It's like the Beatles.
Ripples throughout. That episode is called Wild Things.
Wild Things. They make my heart sing. The episode starts with they're in a Jeep. Jackson was injured. Here's the thing. We haven't watched this show for a year and a half, I want to say. So I fully don't know how Jackson got injured.
He got shot.
By a criminal. It wasn't the gun's fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it was in not America as well. So.
So it doesn't count.
Yeah.
All right. If that country had gun control, he'd be fine.
I think it was purely they drove through some bandit territory.
Yeah, that sounds right. I remember them having some sort of altercation. Oh yeah, because Mitch shook the little cub. They have a little cub with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And he shook it to freak it out so that jaguars.
Oh, the jaguars, the leopard family would come and kill the bandits.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was it was a smart move. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that after hearing that, I can still look and be like, well, he's still good to the animals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As we'll get to later in this episodes.
But Jackson, he's bleeding out in the back of a Jeep. Abraham's watching over him. There are birds that are just occasionally smacking into the side of the Jeep as they're driving to a hospital.
Yeah.
Because Mitch is I can't do that. I can't fix whatever's wrong with Jackson Oz. It's impossible. Even though they're also expecting him to create the cure for this genetic change. It's how would I get a bullet out of this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you know what? Good on him for not feeling pressured into trying.
Yeah. To work himself too hard.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it's especially in today's society, we're just expected. Our worth is what we do, and I think it's good that he had it in him to say, you know what, I could be the hero. I might if I try, but I don't want to try because I think I would kill him. I think I would kill this man.
Yeah, every day you hear about another McDonald's employee who was like peer pressured into removing a bullet from someone.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it didn't work out. It never works out.
It's unnecessary. It's one of those culturally constructed things that we just feel this pressure to remove bullets from people whenever we see them get bullets in them. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think it's realistic to expect that from everybody.
Not everybody.
Yeah.
Abraham's trying to like keep Jackson awake by like getting him to name the cub.
And I'm surprised that Abraham didn't just like. There's no way they haven't dealt with a gunshot wound before in their adventures.
I mean, it's that thing of any TV show where it's like you can accomplish this unless you cannot, like unless it is more useful for you to be unable to do this on your own.
Yeah.
You
That's really the only problem with, and it's those like standard television conventions where it's like they kind of have to go about things in a way that progresses the story. Mm-hmm. So it does kind of feel forced a little bit. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think on a whole, this show is like a 10 out of 10 if you overlook the tiny amounts that they do that.
Yeah. If you overlook the like various issues with the TV show.
Yeah, if you just everything bad, you take that away from it and you look at what's left. And we've got like a Michelangelo's David of a television show here. I've completely changed my tune on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, maybe this is like the post-COVID us, and we're just like,
yeah,
wow, incredible,
like,
such beautiful,
I was beauty. Such a fool. There was so much I didn't appreciate in life.
Yeah.
Everyone now is just like, yeah, all media is good, actually.
Yeah.
They tried so hard, and I love it. I appreciate it.
Wow, congrats. They're still alive at the end of the day, and who can ask for more than that? They're driving to the hospital. There's a bunch of Jeeps and other people driving away from the hospital. And they're, Mitch is like, that could be for any reason.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Not at all to do with the swarms of angry, homicidal birds that just were bashing into your windows trying to kill you.
And then we cut to Washington, where Chloe is with Delavigne. She's just, if you don't remember, she was just being, she wasn't being tortured. Her sister was being tortured over Zoom. Mm-hmm. Really? There was a lot of stuff in this episode that sort of like, to me, was like, they were talking about pandemics.
They were.
RNA.
They were. And that's just funny to me because it's like a lot of things like this where there's conspiracy theories about, Hollywood. They give us hints about what's going on.
What's going to happen. And I'm not saying that it's true, but I don't know. Just keep an open mind.
Yeah,
and,
I think nothing's off the table when we're talking about Zoo. The level of just immersion into the zeitgeist.
So they're driving to some scientific conference that's happening about the animals because people have started to finally sort of take note of the animals.
Like what?
This is unusual.
Yeah.
And they're driving there, and he's like, "You're gonna have to be the one to go up and do the class presentation
for no reason." Literally earlier that day, she was tied up in a room.
Multiple murders. This day.
And then it goes to this scene, and she's fully clothed and showered, got her makeup, got her hair fixed.
Here's
what are you doing?
The toughest part about this for me is he's like, you have to do it, and his explanation is you're the only one who's been in the shit with this. But to me, he was he switched tunes. He's like a traitor to the bad guys, so he should have just proof.
Right.
Surely, if it were me, I would at least try to get some sort of paperwork, some note memo from some guy where it was by BTW.
I'm still on the fence about him because I want to be he's a good guy. He was just working with the bad guys to be a good guy. I don't know. Because even that, now that I'm thinking of it, could have been I just don't want anyone to see me here.
Yeah.
But they saw her. He was still there.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was hiding. they didn't get into the room yet. They were just in a car. And then it cuts back to they're at the hospital now. The hospital has been overrun by there's a lion on the roof, there's alligators.
There's a sniper lion.
I don't see, here's the thing, the lion on the roof, I mean, I guess like the logic is that it climbed up on top on like a side thing, but in my mind the lion on the roof implies that there was another whole adventure that was happening elsewhere on this day where like someone tricked a lion out onto the roof.
Yeah. Like that lion would have helped them if they just would have like helped him get off the roof. Like, hey guys, I can be useful. This sucks. There's
it's environmental storytelling.
Yeah, but also the thing is, alligators, they're pretty quick. Like alligators are to me not like that scary of an animal for this to happen to. I mean, alligators are scary, and I would be very scared to be in like the water with one or in a caged area with one. But it's not like, I feel like lions and leopards and stuff are much scarier to me in terms of like invading a city. In my head, the idea of alligators, just all like a regiment of alligators just going down the street, you would just run them over with your car.
I don't know though. They're like real dinosaurs.
And maybe that's their magic like, because all the animals have magic powers now.
House Bear had what, like subdermal armor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You like
skeleton.
Ooh, that's a good. Because I mean, even because we don't think of them as fast creatures, alligators, or you know.
Oh my god, they evolved to have long legs.
What? They evolved to have human-sized legs.
Human-sized and human shape.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they terrify me.
Yeah.
Like, cause I don't know, and it's the explosiveness of their movement that scares me. Cause they can be super chill, but then like immediately accelerate their body parts to 100 miles an hour, and like just rip you to shreds. But that was good imagery. I love the field of like
corpses
and crocodiles.
Hospital's been overrun. There are leopards in the hospital at this point. They go up to a doctor. They're like, "You have to help us, please." And he's like, I'm going. We're all dipping out of here."
He's like,
I've like fulfilled my Hippocratic oath. I've done enough. I'm calling it today. We're out.
And this poor guy too, because he's like, they barely talk to him at all, and he's like, I guess.
Yeah, truly just like an overworked. Like, he does also in there like Abraham like says something a little bit like scary to him, and he whips out a shotgun and fucking takes a shot at a leopard down the hallway.
Yeah.
This doctor rules a little bit.
He kind of does. I'm feeling that he's like an underutilized. They didn't even give him a name, I don't think. I gotta start paying attention to credits. To see if they give him names. But like this guy saved Oz's life. Like
gave Abraham a shotgun.
Was apparently
like, I'm going into surgery. You're gonna want this.
Yeah. Was apparently like the guy in charge of like saving all these people from this hospital.
And just decided to bang out a quick surgery at the end of the day.
It's like, you know what? Gotta stay sharp. Gotta stay frosty. But then real quick, when he shows up later, he's like, yeah, I'm out of here. Here's this. Bye.
Yeah.
It would be nice if they, like how The Walking Dead has Fear the Walking Dead. Which, I mean, even The Walking Dead is kind of derivative of the zoo experience, if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that probably The Walking Dead is probably the most similar.
I mean, I think it's probably the most of what we've seen that has... It's borrowed the most from Zoo.
Mitch, Abraham, and Jamie are just sort of wandering the hospital looking to do blood work on this baby leopard.
Yeah, this is where they're supposed to do try Mitch's cure.
They find a room, and then it cuts to Chloe. She does her speech at the meeting. The speech is sort of like anything you could like hope for it to have been. Like, I get, I don't know what kind of writing could have made this like an interesting experience to like watch. Because she essentially said what we've all been watching for the past 12 episodes, all animals are attacking all people.
And then immediately the scientists are like, "Oh, well,
But how?
That's stupid."
Did you consider the riboflavin? And she's like, I don't know what that is, you fucking nerd.
Like, I'm not. I listen. I've been fucking. I just got tortured today. You don't know me.
Shut your goddamn trap. I feel like truly she like sort of lets it get away from her a little bit, but truly I just feel in my heart that they should have like let that actress be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like you fucking shut up. Like you don't know what I've seen.
Get their one curse word that they're allowed.
Like I'm sick of white men telling me what I'm talking about.
She does her speech. They're like, what about the chlorophyll or whatever, like science.
Yeah.
Like
She's like,
not
I don't
real,
know what
but
that means. And then they kind of scoff and
Murmur.
whatever, as if scientists don't know that science happens without scientists. Like,
And they all leave.
yeah. They're like, I don't know what she's
Except
talking
one
about.
lady who looks interested.
Oh,
And
she's-
also looks like Hillary Clinton.
yeah, a little bit. I always am like curious like how much it's like when you're casting for
Yeah.
a show like this, if it is like, oh, we want like a a Mitt Romney type for this.
Well, I
like,
feel like with her in particular, we're kind of in this box as far as like female representations of things.
of political figures.
Yeah, political figures, and especially when you get like the women in power thing, because people get very particular about like women in general being cast as things.
Yeah.
Like they're just. People are pissed off that women even have to be in television shows for some reason. Like,
I don't understand. Why isn't this just all dudes?
yeah.
Um,
Like, you know, in Greece, all the actors were men. And then for women, they just had men, because men are better actors.
I got very confused for a second because I thought you were talking about
Grease, yeah.
the movie.
Mary-
And I was like, what? Really?
Yeah, what's the lady's name?
Rizzo?
No, the main girl.
Oh,
Sandra
Sandy.
D.
Yeah, the woman who plays her.
Oh, I
Not Mary Lou Retton. That's not the name.
Gymnast from close to where we live.
Yes, not West Virginia Olympic Hall of Famer Mary Lou Retton.
Ancient Greece and Shakespeare times.
Shakespeare times.
So it does cut back. Mitch gets the cub to remove its tooth by like chewing on a piece of like a rubber.
Which is a very
Art.
nice show of his humanity. And I
Yeah.
think even Abe, because Abe, I think, has been on the fence about him for a while.
Yeah, that is correct.
Like, they've had a few...
They seem to actively dislike each other, I would say.
Yeah. Which is nice. This episode was good for that, because those are the only two characters I give a shit about. And, like, I want them to be cool with each other.
I feel like I kind of like all the characters a little bit in different ways. They all have their own like little. I think if nothing else, I enjoy watching all the characters,
Right.
even if
Yeah.
I don't actively personally like all the characters. At least they're all like interesting in some way.
Well, my thing is purely that, like, they've got a team. And part of this team is supposed, like, when you have a team, it's supposed to be like a whole organism. And so each person is supposed to play some kind of role
It does seem like it
into
could
making this whole organism a thing.
mostly just be Mitch and Abraham.
Yeah, as far as, like, usefulness and, like, getting stuff done. But at the same time, like, Chloe, I very much enjoy her character as well, outside of, like, the standard media conventions that make, like, representing her character a little more muddy for them, I guess. So, like, the representation isn't as good, but the character, like, the substance of the character seems to be there. She has been nothing but shit on this entire season.
Yeah. Truly, the trauma meter, if I were to make a graph,
The traumometer.
Chloe would be just miles ahead.
Oh, everyone else.
Everyone else just like comparatively just babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Abe might have some. They just keep like secretly revealing sad stuff about Abe.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that he's like his character. He still is what we started as. Basically, his character was like pure from the beginning, and now like her character has just been like this just poor regular woman who's just been like just like starts out with animals having killed everyone she was hanging out with.
Do you remember that Abe was mauled by a leopard and dragged up a tree?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a lion, I think.
Or was it a lion?
It was a lion. Yeah.
Jesus.
You know, but even then, I don't feel like I feel like that's pretty easy
hasn't lost
for
his
him
sense of
to
humor.
move on from.
He seems fine. Is the
Yeah.
thing. He seems like totally cool. Because also it was like a thing where it was like he was
like
a
the
child
Avatar.
soldier and stuff. Like
That's right.
a lot of stuff happened to Abe in the past, and it feels like they're just like, yeah, but he's cool. And like bad stuff happened to him, and it made him cool.
Yeah, bad stuff's happening to this lady, and like she's handling it really well, but also there's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh fuck, where were we? Oh yeah, Mitch is getting the tooth. He's getting the tooth. He's gonna make the cure. He's like, we need, because they can't have a wild animal to test it on, because a wild animal might still freak out. They need a domesticated animal. So Abe heads off to go find like either a dog or a goldfish, whichever.
Immediately, not even a question. He's like, "All right, I'll be back, I guess." Like,
sorry, folks, I'll see you later.
The most rabid guinea pig you've ever seen.
Oh my god, yeah. And then there's kind of the love interest thing with Jamie and Mitch. And I think that's at the same scene, like right after he leaves. I think that's
it's sort of like they do some interstitial cuts, but the essential thing that it's essentially like they start having their heart to heart, and then it cuts away for a bit, and then it comes back, and they like finish that conversation. But it's like Mitch and Jamie like getting along, and when they get trapped together a lot.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they do, and I think that's part of, now that I'm thinking of it, part of why I'm so frustrated with Jamie as a character. Is because it feels like her whole like purpose is going to be the whole like making Mitch more feeling like, so her entire presence is still predicated on like his character.
Yeah, the problem is it's not reciprocal. Mitch isn't turning her into a raging asshole.
Yeah, or even just like a better person at all. Like there's nothing going on with her. It feels like.
It does feel like I think it's partially, it doesn't feel like she ever gets a situation. They're never in a scenario that like lets journalism shine. Like it should have been her in Chloe's position.
It should have
as like a communicative like character.
Not even so much that, but like I think it comes into the convenience thing, because it was just convenient that they could torture Chloe's sister.
Yeah,
you know.
Chloe's
sister,
who she loves so much.
Yeah. But yeah, like that definitely would have made sense. But at the same time, they would have had Chloe hanging around, and they wouldn't have been able to do the love interest stuff. But yeah, that, as far as like character motivation rather than writing convenience, I think that would have been a much better use of her as a character rather than her as a love interest.
Let's here. Oh yeah, Abraham he heads out to actually go get the dog. The doctor like drops by and is like, "Your friend's he's sleeping."
Here's a bunch of medicine. I'm gone. Dude.
Later, man.
Like I'm really behind schedule now.
I truly like feel that doctor's energy so much of just like here, it's fun.
Like I did the thing only I could do. I'm gone.
Cut to Jackson. Jackson's having a hallucination about his love interest, Chloe. Doesn't feel like they're that far along in this relationship yet, but he has it. She screams. Yeah. He wakes up, and a woman is being mauled by a leopard.
Oh,
classic.
The classic, waking up from a good dream thing.
We've all
been there.
Abraham goes out looking for the dog, finds one. He's like trying to like get a hold of it when a guy like comes around the corner. Is like, Was it Mako?
Baka.
Bako?
Maybe.
Bako, yes. Bacco. It had
He's
the...
like talking to his dog. He's like, I'm sorry, Bako.
I'm sorry it's
Whips out-
bothering you. I just came by to kill him, and I'll be on my way.
It was implied that was the owner, but I do like the idea that it was just like a guy from the neighborhood who was like, yeah, I've been going around killing all the dogs. It seemed like I could get away with it right in this moment.
Yeah, it does seem like, because he's even like, everyone else has killed their dogs. I'm the last one. Like, really? Or that seems... Why do you have to justify that to this man you've
It
never
just feels
met?
like... It
If
feels
this
like
is
I
your
gotta
dog,
kill the dog, probably.
Social pressure. I'm sorry, man.
This is just a guy who's just waiting to kill his dog. Just like
Oh,
the day
man.
finally.
Like his
comes.
wife's dog, and like it never liked him after he moved
Looking
in.
out the window. Terry, did you see Terry killed his dog? No, John, we're not doing Terry. All I'm saying is that Terry did it to his dog.
Like, everyone's killing their dogs. Why can't we kill ours? Like, why do we have to be the last one to kill our dogs, Doris?
Abraham's like, let me take the dog. I'll try and fix it, and if not, I'll kill it with my own bare hands. He tells the guy he'll kill him, right?
Yeah, he does.
If it doesn't,
He
okay,
does.
yeah. He says he'll murder it.
I mean, even there, just the perfect man. And
Yeah.
like we were discussing earlier, his elegant solution for catching this thing is he makes like one of the, I don't know what it's
Like an
called.
IV drip, like the rack for like an IV drip.
Yeah, well, I know what that's called, but the thing, like kind of how a dog catcher has,
Oh, the dog.
where you,
Oh.
where you get it around. I didn't want to call it a noose, but like it's kind of like a noose.
It's not great. Like the dog probably doesn't like it when that happens.
But yeah, like, and Abe's just the perfect man.
Great.
There's no, he should be the hero.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that Zoo has deprived us of. Is, well, and like we said before, the hero has to be flawed, and I just don't think Abe is.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a real Superman. What was next? Let's see. Oh yeah, Jackson saves he gets out of his bed, he gets some kids onto a bed, and he like runs them into a back room and like locks the door away from the leopard. There's not a ton to talk about there. Jackson's sort of looking not great. But you know, it's fine. Little
handle
action.
business, you know?
Fine little action scene. Jackson really does the best when he doesn't have to like actually interact with like people or like talk or do anything. He really like, it's like, wow, Jackson did a pretty good job this episode. But next episode when he's like has to like, someone's gonna be like these animals, and he's gonna be like, my dad, my father, he had an otter.
The otter. That's what killed him.
But the little boy is like, oh, my brother's out there still.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was stressful. That was, they did a good job. They got a lot accomplished this episode, I feel like.
Yeah.
Which makes sense if it's like the season 1 finale.
Oh, it's all the penultimate. There's one more in season 1.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
One episode more.
I was thinking this was the last one.
Yeah.
I just realized I don't know what penultimate means.
Second to last.
Well, now I know. Oh man.
Mitch and Jamie sort of continue to have their little heart-to-heart in which he's like, wow, you've really helped me along, Jamie. And he explains how he couldn't be a doctor because he couldn't deal with like people being sad. Not a ton else. Oh yeah, and then a leopard breaks into the room and he pulls the fire alarm and destroys the mother cell. Or I think that's what is implied is happening.
It like kind of shrinks and like changes color.
It's like an ice cube melting.
Yeah,
What is it?
I don't know, because I still don't know what it is, because what I was thinking was that maybe this is causing some reaction that is going to come back later. Yeah. And I feel like I put a lot of faith in the series to, because we have the one guy who was the villain. Evan, and he was like the animal man.
If Evan doesn't come back in the season finale, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Yeah, oh man. Oh, I just realized that's a possibility.
It's gotta. Because remember, we had talked about, because the episode he died was the same episode that the bear went into hibernation.
Yeah.
And they had thought it was like, and so we had the theory that Evan had maybe gone into hibernation to trick people into thinking he was dead. Because he got the mother cell like implanted in his eye, and that apparently is what
he
killed
got
him.
Immortality.
Which there's no way that'd be what kills him.
No, it's not like a very satisfying. They didn't really even get to interact with him very much.
No, they didn't. They saw him like a couple times. They made him like a.
He had a whole episode like that was like just him escaping from prison almost.
That was so dope.
It was the best episode, maybe.
I really hope our listeners go into this knowing that I'm gonna lose my fucking mind if he shows up in the next episode.
He better. I
Oh
swear
my
to
God.
God. If it was just like a thing where it was like, oh yeah, I don't know, that actor had another thing.
Yeah, I don't understand why they would not take that character farther.
He was so cool. He quoted the Bible. He was just like a Stephen King character.
That might have been what did it. Because old Jamie P.
He was-
doesn't want to seem too similar to old Stevie K.
Yeah. So they run out. They lose the mother cell, but they have two doses of the cure.
Yes.
Abe comes in with the dog. He's got the dog tied up and like they have it chained up in a room. And they are like trying to inject it with the serum when Chloe just calls, like just borrows someone's phone. Is like,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
up? How?
Are you guys doing good?
And
Are
I
you
love
guys
how
okay?
she's so casual with it because she's like, why are you testing it in a hospital? Oh, I'm sorry, Chloe. I think shit happens. That you just have to do things in inconvenient places.
Jamie was like, Chloe, are you okay? And she was like, we'll talk about it later. I'm like, it's whatever. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm fine. It's fine. It's nothing.
It's like, I wasn't kidnapped and have to watch my sister get tortured or anything.
It's a thing with my sister, and then I saw some people get shot. Whatever, like, it's fine.
I'm in Washington, where we're currently, as far as anyone knows, wanted for murder.
Yeah.
Possibly treason.
So she's talking to, they don't really get any conversation. All anyone learns from it is that Chloe learns they're in a hospital trying to test the cure. Jamie learns that Chloe's in Washington and okay. And then Delavigne just comes up and is like, give me that, and turns it off.
He doesn't even say anything, just takes it, turns it off, is like, what are you doing?
I told you not to call people.
Like, you're an intelligence agent. How are you this just dense?
And then some suits show up in a car and pull her and Delavigne.
And I was thinking immediately, if it's not the lady, because that's like the only one, and it kind of did that thing too, where it kind of like has a shot of her for a little too long.
Where she's like, interesting animals you say.
Yeah, like animals eating people. But yeah, so I was thinking if it's not her, then maybe Raiden found them. And Raiden, that's like, they haven't even, like, there's so much untapped in the Zooniverse.
The Zooniverse. Oh no. Bring it back. To compete with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we need the Zooniverse. Cuts back, Jackson goes out, sort of does like the horror movie, like pulling pulling every sheet aside with big jerky move.
There was even one that, oh, sorry, William.
Just gotta destroy his wound.
Yeah,
Just
like,
open it up each time.
but there was even one of them that he did where he like gets it caught.
Yeah, he's like, God damn
It's
it.
caught in the curtain, so even if the leopard would have been back there, he would have been absolutely murdered.
God dang it. Got it caught in the curtain. Finds the kid, runs the kid back into the, like, does sort of a, plays chicken with the leopard, like with the bed. He like pulls the bed away, gets the kid into the room with his brothers and brother and sister. And then that's really the end of the scene. Really, it's hard to talk about because they don't talk or anything, but it's like, it's just like fine action.
It's a lot of, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But this one specifically, so like the leopard's between the door and him pushing the kid. And so clearly this injured man is going to take the only shot he has, which is to just run straight into, and I say run, but really limp quickly.
Yeah, he was in socks, so he was having some hard time. Like,
And luckily, this animal just didn't have it in it to like jump up
or go around.
Yeah, so
or-
it like runs immediately. It runs like way far away. They get in the room. They close it again. They kind of just make this leopard look like a huge bitch. Like this
wildly
leopard.
weak leopard.
Yeah, I mean, he walks into a room with a half-dead guy, 3 children, and a woman. Mauls the woman who didn't lock the door, so really it's on her fault.
This hospital was really playing like wild with like,
Yeah.
how you would deal with this, because they all were aware of it and were like making steps to deal with it, but they weren't like, you would think it would be like, okay, let's figure out in what rooms there are leopards and lock those ones.
Instead, it was like, let's have one guy with a gun stand in this dark hallway that attaches to a lot of different hallways with a lot of different rooms and passageways.
And he'll sort of keep an eye on
He'll keep an eye on stuff with his one gun.
So Jackson saves another kid. The medicine, the cure didn't work. And Mitch is like, why, he's really putting himself down.
Oh, this scene I liked too.
And Abraham stands up and looks him dead in the eye and is like, tell me why you failed today.
Yeah. And then, that was chilling. Where he's like, I don't know. And he tries to do a sarcastic answer. And he's like, no. Why did you fail today?
Why did you fail today? What a imagine being in just like a workplace scenario and someone's like, tell me why you failed today. What? Tell me why you failed today.
I feel like that's me, and I hate it. But I feel like I'm that guy who's like, what did you mess up on? No. Tell me what you did wrong.
And it sort of forces Mitch to like work through his thought process. And he's like, oh, I have to administer it orally to the dog. So he has to like spray it into its mouth.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
Oh, God.
Cut back to Washington, where Chloe meets Amelia Sage, who's the I guess like the U.S. We haven't actually like found out what her deal is, but she's like secret ops, military something, and she's like, no one else may have believed you, but I did because.
Well, her and I guess she's backed by a bunch of people.
Yeah, she's like the people who really matter. Like,
but even her, like, I don't trust her not to be with Reagan.
I think she's part of Reagan. That has to be the next twist.
Because it's like, it'll be to like get into the next season. Oh my God, what's happening?
I
broke it.
Oh no.
The wheel bent.
What was happening after that? Oh yeah, Jackson.
I think that's when
Jackson and Abe reunite.
Well, that's after they. There's one more scene where they administer the thing orally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they administer it orally. It works.
Yeah.
The dog is happy.
The dog is not evil, probably. Wink.
Yeah, I mean, and even that, like, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's
they're
the
supposed
oldest
to be
trick in the book.
Yeah. Like,
It's-
you take something that you clearly, they're trying to do something to make me cool, and then you just act cool for a while.
Mm-hmm. I mean, remember that little dog from the early episode that like led the man to the alleyway?
Where it was like luring people to their deaths.
Dogs, man. Gotta keep your eyes out.
Well, and I immediately thought, like, so A, like, how are they going to make more cure? B, how are they going to prove that they cured this animal?
Yeah.
And C, I was immediately thinking, like, oh man, maybe he should have saved a dose for his daughter's dog. Because that is something that is still lingering. That they've been, like, foreshadowing a little bit.
Yeah. At some point here in this, and I don't know if it if we saw it happen, but Jackson like headed off on his own and left Jamie and Mitch alone to like wander the hospital and like went and got Jackson. And they had their touching reunite, like, the best friendship in the show, 100%.
It's so dumb. Like, that was the one thing with this episode for me. It's like, why would the guy who can take care of people and also has a gun, why wouldn't everyone just go get Oz?
Impossible.
Like, stay together. Like, why?
Impossible. You got split up. But Jamie and Mitch, as a result of this, get cornered by two leopards. They're like, oh shit, what are we going to do? How are we going to get away from these leopards? When who comes in but the greatest heroes of all? That's right, U.S. military.
U.S. Special Forces.
Desert Storm.
They're so professional.
Heroes, yeah.
And they tranquilize them too because they're
Yeah, you know that the U.S. military would be like, well, we gotta tranquilize these ants. We can't kill them.
It doesn't matter how many human lives they've taken.
You know the U.S. military, it would be the second that there was a hint that this was the scenario, it would be like, well, I guess time to wage war on all, and like press there's like a button in the White House that's like kill all animals at operation. Like,
oh man, I just realized, what if Raiden is like somehow connected to the government?
oh, that would be that would be realistic also.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, what if their whole thing was making that button?
Bernie Sanders voted against that bill. He was the only one.
Bernie Sanders was the only one to vote against the turning all animals into killing
We
machines.
need your support to get rid of these animals that are killing everybody.
We don't need more. We have plenty.
We need to fix this problem.
I'm just imagining the presidential debate where it's like just like you voted for this, and it's like that's old history. We don't have to talk about the animals killing all people thing. Is that your only talking point?
It's gonna be like that with COVID.
It is
absolutely.
Serious moment.
Absolutely.
It is gonna be.
Absolutely. I mean, it's already like.
It's in the past.
If you think about it, it's kind of like.
Oh, that was another thing that I don't think they. So the defiant pupil.
Oh yeah.
This Hillary Clinton lady. She was like, "Oh, you call it that? We call it the Delta
Determinant.
Delta determinant."
And we were like, what the fuck?
Like, why?
What the fuck is that?
And that's when you know that life doesn't imitate art. Art imitates zoo, and life imitates zoo. And we're all living in zoo.
Oh, see, a cat just came into the room. Come to show us that we're right.
Come to shut us down.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, it's like in a zoo, like if like they were to like do like a zoo reboot and like off the back of our wildly popular podcast, if it like got
I think what you mean is a rezoot.
If like there would be like we would get a cameo, but we would be killed by one cat. Like that would be the gag. Would like be that we were doing a podcast, and it would like a cameo of 3 podcasters.
And then House
in a
Bear
room.
would come to us. Oh, we could be part of House Bear.
Oh my god!
If he ate us, then canonically in zoo,
we're
us the zoo podcast guys would be absorbed into the being of House Bear.
House Bear 2, where we're all like missing. We're like it's 3 of us all in the same house, and we're all like just missing, brushing our teeth.
Like the bear's in the closet, and we open it up to get something from a shelf, and the bear's like behind a coat.
Where were we? Okay.
Delta Determinant.
Oh
yeah, Delta Determinant. She's like, you're gonna be heroes.
The military came and saved them. There's a guy, I don't know who he is, but he's got such a big face and such a small helmet.
Yeah.
But he just takes the dog.
Yeah.
I guess they're like, oh, he's cured. And he's like, seriously? And then just takes him.
Yeah. You would think you'd want to keep that dog as a
I know.
scientist.
That's what I was thinking. Because, like, a dog is useful. Mm-hmm. You don't get a dog first thing in all the Fallout games because they're just garbage.
They're great.
They help you succeed in apocalyptic scenarios. Mm. They're probably going to recruit his daughter's dog, though. If they don't, I'm going to sue.
We can only hope. I hope it becomes more apocalyptic.
Oh, yeah.
It has to.
Oh. I mean, this is season 1. There's what, 4?
There's 3.
3 seasons? Yeah. We're a third of the way through our journey.
Almost. Coming up. Next episode will be the season finale.
I'm so excited.
Oh, man. Oh, there better be a lot happening.
So the last scene, big last scene, a lot of shit happens.
Oh my
They're on a plane. I thought it was that they were alone on it, but it seems like there's a bunch of people on the plane.
There's just some normal people. Like
Couldn't spring for like a private for these guys. No.
No.
All right. Well.
like, hey, we cured this disease that's happening that no one even knows about yet.
They're flying home. Jackson, Abraham, they're both like, we gotta get some hamburgers after this. Which honestly, like, to be fair, I guess like that's like if it became a world where like animals were sentient and trying to kill us, there's probably like a portion of people who would be like meat eaters who would like the people who get really offended by vegetarians just like existing who would be like, look who's come good. Look who's the smart one now.
Look who's come crawling back. Yeah, which even that, like, I did like that, but it did do the whole, like, oh, we're getting a hot dog and watching a game when we get back.
The U.S. military just, like, invaded foreign lands
to extract
some people. And now they're like, time for some hamburgers and some cold beers. And
but before that, he was like talking about how he was talking to, like, Abe was talking to God and made all these promises and stuff. And then Jackson's like, oh, do they involve women? And I'm immediately thinking Japan. I'm like, oh no, Japan, everyone get safety. Abe's coming.
If you don't remember this, because I do have to, because otherwise this just sounds like madness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my favorite part, is that it all sounds like madness. Unless there's someone who's watched every single episode of our podcast and the show. Like, this is going to be insane.
They were going to Japan in the like very beginning of the show, and Abe was just so fucking hyped to go to Japan. And like it implied it was like he loves the women. Like,
he says it.
Well, he flat out says, like, the women, that's why he goes.
And it was like, what the fuck? What a weird character choice to make.
Well, and I think that's like his fatal flaw.
His one.
There's a lot going on, but I'm a fan of his character still.
I mean, it was also when they were going to like 20 different countries.
Yeah, when it was like,
Yeah.
every episode was like just those like screens where it's like, Amsterdam, USA, you know.
Utah.
Oh my god.
Jamie and Mitch, they start getting drunk, and then, ooh, kissy.
Oh yeah.
They have a little kiss.
Which I don't mind. I don't mind romance in a show if it's well done. It's just not well done.
I think it's better than Chloe and Jackson Oz.
It is. It is better than them, yes.
Because that just sort of is like, that's like happening by the sheer force of them being the two leads of the show.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Like them being like the first man and woman to come into contact with each other. Like, for real. And I mean, it sucks. Like, there's so much more that could fill that space.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Zooniverse.
This is the Zooniverse.
We're not talking about Joss Whedon.
We're not
talking about J.J. Abrams. We're talking about whoever made this a visual experience.
J.J. Abrams can take his mystery box, shove it right up his fucking ass. 'Cause it's zoo time, baby. So they're kissing, and then, William, you pointed out, to punish them for their sin.
The plane starts rocking.
The plane starts rocking.
When the plane starts a-rocking, don't come a-knocking.
The pilot gets over the thing and says, this is a weird line, because he's like, due to some odd migratory behavior, we're being like diverted, which like, I feel like I would at this point, if I'd seen the news, I would be like over the thing, like, ladies and gentlemen, birds, fuck, like, if things are looking bad, there's a bunch of birds, and we're gonna make a run for
There's
it.
like 90 birds, single file, about to fly directly into our thrusters. This is gonna be not good.
There should have been an after credit scene that was like a flashback where they're getting onto the plane, and it's like, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Scully Sculmer. I will be your captain. It's like the end of, what's the movie with Robert Pattinson where the ending is that it's 9/11?
Oh,
my god. What's it called?
You know what I'm talking about? It's such
Yeah,
a
The
wild
light,
movie.
the lighthouse.
Such a wild movie when Robert Pattinson was still like leading man. Like they were just like, yeah, he's like
He's normal.
He's not a crazy degenerate at all.
So
I don't think you're a crazy degenerate, Robert Pattinson. I just the Watchtower, the Lighthouse, the Lighthouse was an excellent film, and your
Love your
character
movies.
was unhinged.
Yeah.
So I'm judging your characters, not you.
My hope is though the birds have taken control of the ailerons and they're directing the plane.
yeah.
Oh, like in a Superman movie,
Oh, yeah.
where the plane's fallen and then it just starts flying again. They're like, "What's going on?"
Wait a
and then it's just Superman carrying it. There's just hundreds of geese lining this thing.
Canadian geese taking to Canada, like
They've
Bird
got
Island.
the cure. They need to get taken down. Which, I mean, even whenever we saw they were in a plane, we were all like, why are they in a fucking plane?
Yeah, immediately we were like, so many planes have gone down in this fucking show.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's missing out. Maybe they'll do it in another season, but like imagine a cruise liner that they're on, but like whales and octopuses are attacking. That's that's so terrifying.
Yeah, but would would that even do it? Well, I guess
They
railway.
jump up and just smash down.
You'd be
Well, I'm thinking of as far as them catching the thing.
Oh.
Because didn't it say it was airborne? But there's air in water.
Sure.
I think that's not the most unbelievable thing.
It's not. They would do that if they had if they wanted to do that narrative beat. They wouldn't let the fact that that writer's room, they would not be sitting around like, but how would the whales have caught it? Some guy would immediately be like, radon's dumping stuff into the water.
Yeah.
Fisherman spat in the ocean.
Good enough. Great. Let's go home by 12.
Oh my gosh.
So the ending is Mitch and her kiss. Pilot comes on, it's like migratory patterns.
Oh,
the bet is like, what is he talking about? And then poof,
Yeah. Fucking the guy who just cured this disease. The guy, wasn't he like, I don't know if he was piloting one of the planes that got taken down by animals, but he was surely in one.
Yeah.
The one with the bats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where they had to land because of bats.
Yeah.
And he's like, what migratory behavior? Like, what are you talking about? Well, he's drunk. Never mind.
Yeah,
he's drunk.
He's drunk and just like making out with this lady. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh.
But yeah, great episode. Really enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
Just so looking forward to the finale.
I really cannot wait.
Yeah.
No, that was it. That's it. End of story.
Let's I gotta get some food in me. So let's go through our animal murders we're hoping to see. And this is we're hoping to see these ideally in the finale.
Mm-hmm.
So what does anyone have a starting? Oh, William.
I've got a good one. I hope I haven't said it before. I'm worried I have.
Mm-hmm. Well, people will have forgotten by this point. We could just start over.
And that's even making the assumption that people have been following us this long.
There's at least, I've gotten one email from one person.
I want you to find their name so we can do a shout out.
Yo, what's up? That guy.
Not real
He
name.
was cool.
Well,
yeah.
you know who we're talking
The
about.
one guy who sent me an email. He seemed
thanks
cool.
for the email, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, I want a pelican, like to fill its beak with water, and it's at a pier at night where there's drunk people, and they're stumbling around, and it trips him, and like the head goes straight into the pelican's beak, and like it's full of water, so he's just like drowning,
He stands up.
The pelican's like flying around, so he can't even get a hold of it.
Yeah, and just drowns him like that Lady Velez that supposedly drowned in the toilet. It's not true, but I like the idea of that's what the birds are gonna do. Like, what a horrifying death.
Oh man, I'm hoping, because I think they've done a good job, because even though the animals are murdering everybody, they're not sadistic like people are. Like, they're literally just like, I mean, even
it must be done.
Yeah, even the dog that like was luring the guy, I'm sure he wasn't taking pleasure in it. But like,
who can know what lies in the heart of man?
Yeah, I mean that's for God to say.
Yeah, that's for dog God. That's right. I'm coming out on a hard stance. There is a God for each species of animal,
but especially dogs.
Yeah. What I'm hoping to see, season finale. We've talked a lot about like a funny like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if there was a goldfish? Very silly. If like behind it all, they came into some like big dark room. I want them to come into some big dark room with the TV screens, the like end of the Matrix Reloaded, with all the TV screens.
Yeah.
And turns around and it's a dog and it can speak English. But like those dogs, like the dogs that you see, like where they've taught the dog to say "I love you" and it says,
but its whole grasp of the English language is like that.
Yes, noise. Oh, my great snooze. I'm your dad.
I'm your dad. It's me, Dr. Oz. I turned myself into a dog, and I'm taking over the world.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God.
Do you have an animal you would like to see murdered?
I don't have an animal, but I just have an overall like feel that I want to feel. Like I want it to kind of like in one of the Avengers movies where it's like the climax and like whoever shows up is supposed to show up or whatever. I haven't seen many of them.
Yeah.
But I want there to be this big battle scene, and then all of a sudden all the animals stop and they're just waiting there, and everyone's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And then you hear like, dun 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 dun, and then everyone's like, nobody knows what's happening, and everything's quiet, and then you just see all the animals like look up to the horizon, and then you just hear like, dun 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 dun, and then like over the horizon you see Evan, who is not only back and riding a bear, who is House Bear, the same one who he broke out of prison for his subdermal armor, but they fused together through the power of the cube, so or the power of the mother cell. Yeah, so he's a bear centaur, but instead of only being half bear, there's a full bear.
Where his dick would be their bear head.
Yeah. So, and then you just see this, like, monstrous, like, Scorpion King-esque CGI monstrosity. And then you just, like, cut for the next episode. That's what I hope going into season 2.
We can only hope. Yeah. I mean, I put my full trust in the writers of Zoo.
Yeah, I think it's really the only place you can go with that.
Yeah.
Like, there's not really many options.
The only way I could, and after hearing you say it, the only way I can picture this ending is with Evan coming back as a bear centaur.
Yeah.
All right, I think we have enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And